Hello, everyone. This is the Startup Teardown of PageProofer.com. I'm here with Derrick Grigg, who is the owner and CEO of PageProofer. Is that correct, Derrick?
Yeah, that's right. I just founded it a little over a year ago. So just been an interesting first year to having this up and running.
Great. So I don't know anything about PageProofer.com. I'm going to pull it up right now. Before I load it up, can you tell me and everyone else a little bit about what it does?
Sure. So basically, it's a service for web designers and developers to be able to get feedback back and forth with their clients as easy as possible. I've been doing web development for almost 15 years, and one of the big hassles that happens on pretty much every project is you get the site up to a point where a client or a team can come in and start to take a look at it, and you start getting feedback. You never get feedback right on the site, though. You're always getting feedback in a spreadsheet, in a bunch of emails, in a PDF, and you're trying to pull all of this information together and figure out what's the most current state of this feedback, what's been handled, what hasn't been handled, what still needs to get done, and it's always just a great big mess. So what PageProofer tries to do is simplify that so that you're not having to deal with all these spreadsheets and PDFs and everything anymore. You're just right on the website, and if you see something that needs to get fixed, you click on it and you leave a note and say, hey, this image needs to get changed, or there's a typo, or there's some new copy for this section, and everything is right there on the website. So if anyone wants to leave feedback, they can do it on the website. If someone needs to see the feedback, they go to the website and they can see it right there. So the website really becomes not just the focus of the development, it also becomes where the focus should be for the feedback too.
Oh, cool. So then if PageProofer does its job right, then it basically sits in the background and you don't even know you're using it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look. I have never seen this before, so I'm pulling it up right now. All right, make it simple for your team and clients to leave feedback. I really like how direct that is. It's very cool. And then you've got a video here. Do you mind if we sit through the demo? Can we play that?
No, go for it. It's super quick.
Oh, wow. It plays right in place there. That's very cool.
So what I tried to do here was actually walk the user through how PageProofer works on their site and just give them a couple little blurbs on the side too to make it really, really obvious what's happening with it.
Okay. There's a lot of moving parts there. It's hard to pay attention. If you were able to put a pause in there each time the text changes, then I could read it. It's really nice. I think I'd have to watch it twice for it to really sink in, because when that played, I was just looking right at the moving parts, which is on the screen here, and I could see that the text was changing on the right, but I wasn't actually able to read it because it was moving too quickly.
Okay, no, that's good to know.
I like this free trial thing. That is a link that takes you to the sign up. Oh, this is super cool, Derrick. Awesome. So how come you went with a 15-day trial?
Initially, we were going with a 30-day trial, and what we found was that when companies did sign up and start to use the service, everything really happened within that first week to 10 days.
Okay.
If they were going to sign up, it happened inside of that period. If they weren't signing up, the account just kind of floated. Nothing really happened.
Okay.
After it was about around the 12-day mark was typically when we saw people either activate or not.
Okay.
So having that extra long trial, having a 30-day trial, it really didn't make any sense. We were just kind of prolonging the waiting period on our side to see are they going to sign up or not. So what we did was shortened it back to 15 days, and then we have a little bit of a drip campaign in there too, so that depending on what their activities have been like in those 15 days, we can kind of give the prospect a couple little tickles just to see, based on how they're using the service, if things are going well or not.
Okay, cool. So then I do web development myself, and I could see this being very useful for clients. Let's say that I called you up and this is the first time I'm seeing it. How would you sell this to me?
I think the key thing that I try and kind of get across whenever I'm talking to a prospect is it's so easy to use. It's literally put a little embed code on your website, and anybody can come in and start giving feedback and seeing feedback. It's not super technical like a kind of a traditional bug tracking software. And when you show people how easy it is to leave feedback, they kind of instantly get it. So it's really just making that feedback process really, really simple especially for clients, because a lot of times the developers, are obviously technically oriented, and they're thinking in one way, but their clients aren't thinking that same way. So they've already dealt with kind of the client frustration around trying to get them feedback, and things don't always stay in sync and that type of issue. So when you talk to the developer, the designer, for them, they've kind of already heard a little bit about that from the client, so it's a pretty easy jump for them to see how this can really help out their process.
Okay. Have you thought about anything? You see, I haven't even scrolled down yet. One thing that I think would be a really powerful sales tool is, rather than having a free trial, if I just say get started now, and you click and you can send, put my URL in and send like the very first issue off to a client, let the client see it, and then it's up to my client. If the client likes it, at that point, yeah, I'll sign off for sure, because the client likes it, he knows how to use it. Because there's two parties involved. You've got me, the developer, and then I have my clients as well. So I can figure out any tool. I feel confident about that. But I don't know if the clients can. And some of them are very picky about that.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I had never thought of that before, a way of kind of encouraging them to show it to their clients before they even get too far in. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and if you did that, then you could get rid of the free trial completely, and then you can get to revenue faster. So then you get more of your concern on demos and just getting people to use this and send out the first one. Hey, would you like to try this? Would you like to do this to see if your clients are going to use this?
Right.
Rather than having them put in any information at all to sign up.
I like that idea.
It's kind of like a neat way to flip it. So after the fold here, I think you've done a really awesome job up here. You've got this video that plays right away. It shows you the whole product. What about the rest of the site? Why would I scroll down?
Well, hopefully, the video has at least captured your attention enough that you would want to maybe, scroll further down the page just to find out, okay, I kind of get what PageProofer is about. Let's really start to learn a little bit more about it. So, again, just a little bit of a caption there, trying to encourage them to get into the free trial. If they haven't bought in at that point, I've got a couple, some customer testimonials, and then a few questions and answers just below that too, just to try and really get the point across about how PageProofer works and what it can do for them, because I don't really want to get into a lot of the technical bits of how it works. It's more just around how is PageProofer going to make your life as a developer or as possibly a client that's looking at this, how is it going to make their life easier? How is it going to save them effort and time and just the pain and dealing with feedback back and forth.
Yeah, very cool. Now I see you mentioned your team. Are your users, are they mostly teams or are they mostly individuals?
It's typically small development shops, so most of our accounts have about 5 to 10 users, so they're not big teams, but it's not just a 1 or 2 person operation either.
Okay. One other area I'd love to look at and talk is pricing, because pricing is such a cool thing. So how do you do this? You're paying by the user then, it looks like.
Yes, actually right now there's two kind of cutoffs. There's users and their sites.
Okay.
So it's a combination of the two, and we're actually just getting ready to flip our pricing model around a bit and just base it purely on users, just kind of watching patterns and how people have been using it. The site limit doesn't really make any sense, and we're actually going to flip over to an unlimited site model, and we're going to base it purely on users instead, just to make it easier to understand for people when they first look at the pricing. Okay. We've gotten a couple questions about trying to figure out, well, how did the two scales work, and it was a little more confusing than it needed to be, so we want to really make that easier and make it simple for people to get it and jump right in.
Okay. So you're competing then directly with, I guess, emails and spreadsheets and however else this is being managed. It's like a small part of a project management. You're taking like a little slice of the project management, and you're just working on a part of it. Is basically, let's get feedback on this work that's been done.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't want to get into all the other parts of project management that there are a lot of other good solutions out there for. Mm-hmm. What we wanted to do was focus on the one part where there wasn't a good solution and make something that really works there. And that was part of the reason that we integrate with like Basecamp and Trello and some of those systems too, is because there are some really good offerings out there, and it doesn't make sense for us to reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. Let's just add something to an already good wheel.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd like to think about ways that you can increase revenue too, and just because you said most of your users are between 5 and 10 in size, most of your customers, which means that they're either on the free or they're on the $15 a month. And the free probably makes you feel really compelled that we need to take care of these guys in case they start to pay us.
Right.
And that might be doing you a disservice because you don't want to spend any time or effort on free if they're not going to convert. And
Yeah.
to convert, that means their team needs to grow above 6 users, which means that their costs are going to go up a hell of a lot.
Oh, sorry. That, you know what? This might not be totally self-explanatory then. The trial, so you get 5 users for the trial, but that's just for the 15 days. At the end of the 15 days, then they bump into one of those plans. Then they would have to bump into one of the plans, either the freelancer, studio, or agency. So the trial is just, it's the 5 user limit. Yeah.
That's weird to have a number here and then have that be a different number than here.
Okay. I never even thought of that before, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. I really like simple pricing, and I like when the prices are a lot higher than $15 a month.
I would love that too.
Yeah, just because it makes it. I mean, it's a lot easier to run a business that can survive on more than $15 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the reasons that we wanted to redo the pricing, was to get it a little more in line with kind of some other services that are out there, and also just recognizing the fact that on the bottom end of the pricing plan, it's a little tricky to provide support and things that we need to do at those amounts.
Yeah, it's nice that you're not offering a free plan forever, because that's really nice that you don't have to worry about that. You have 15-day period. If they either convert, they convert. If not, then you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And what about usage then? I guess once someone signs up, I'm going to go ahead and sign up for this.
Sure.
Once I sign up, am I going to get, how do I know that you're going to actually have me use it? Or how do you know that I'll actually use it?
There's no guarantee that you're going to use it, but we send the email out right away, and then also with a little video link just to help you get started.
Okay.
And then we try and provide some little helpers getting you up and running. And then after that, really, that's where the little campaign that kicks in once your account is activated comes into play, where the system's monitoring what you're doing with PageProofer. So have you added a site? Have you added some notes? Are you getting some feedback? And depending on what happens with those types of things, we'll fire off different emails at different intervals to try and either encourage usage or kind of give you some extra positive feedback about how you're using the system, how you're feeling about it, those types of things. So every couple days you'll get like a different message from PageProofer just saying, how are things going, or we've noticed you haven't done anything in a couple of days. Is there anything you're having an issue with as far as getting up and running? And we'll get, it's a great way to start conversations with our customers or prospective customers to find out if things are working properly or not, or maybe they've run across an issue that we had never considered. We can get some honest feedback from someone who's fresh into the system and try and make some tweaks to make it work better.
Okay. I can tell you I run a small consulting firm here. We're very tiny, and even with our small size, I get so overwhelmed with all the things I need to take care of that the pain for this for me is not the $15 per month, it's the signing up and dealing with the email. And so what would make this awesome is what you've done here with this flow. Now I get to start using PageProofer, and now I get to add a site. This is stuff at this point I might be like, I don't know if I have time for this right now. I have to read all this and figure out what all this does. Let's take a look. I'm just going to use my own. And I didn't read any of that. Oh, I have to add this now? That's okay. So there's a lot of steps that I need to do before I get that rush of, oh wow, this is a really good tool and I want to use this. So if you can decrease how long it takes for me to get that rush of this is a really cool tool, then it would make it really cool for me to be able to say, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna sign up for this and pay for this right away.
Oh, okay.
So
that was one of the things that we tried to make a little bit easier. So from the sign up, having that button to get you straight in as opposed to waiting for like an email activation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a delay. I guess, in the sense that you've actually got to add this embed code onto your website. So there's not a way to
Yeah. Is there?
speed it up too
Um,
much past that. But
what about a bookmarklet? Are those things still used? I don't really know. I know you can do a bookmarklet where you just like kind of drag this up to the bookmark or
and put it
something.
on. It's possible. There's a couple other services that do something with bookmarklets. The problem and the thing that we really wanted to stay around or stay away from, sorry, was browser support. The one thing that we were really key on was being 100% supported across all modern browsers,
Hmm.
and going the bookmarklet route kind of breaks that because now you're getting into situations where each browser has a slightly different
Yeah.
mechanism for dealing with that. But I do like the bookmarklet idea, and that might be a way to at least get them in a little bit quicker, even if it's only on one or two browsers.
Yeah.
At least it gets them up to speed in a minute as opposed to 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. I would love to be able to play with this while on the call and really just kind of play with it together so we can step through it. But now I have to go and modify the site and then publish the site.
Right. Yeah.
Let's click this anyway and get it to where I can see the results of it right away and
Okay.
just start to use it, even if it's a dirty hack. And even I know you said browser support was important. If I what is the majority browser? Would you say?
Oh, Chrome is the browser that people are using the most right now.
All right, then just use a user agent check, build support for Chrome, and forget all the rest because you can do them manually. You can convert them, right? And
Yeah.
if you can do that bookmarklet just on Chrome, so that when you log in with Chrome, you see this bookmarklet, and then you can get to that rush right away. Because that rush, where it's like, oh wow, this is awesome, that's what makes me buy. That's what makes me want to sign up, and I'll pay the $15 per month. Or because I run a company, it might be easier for me when I'm looking for a tool like this. It's usually because I have money to spend on a tool like this. I'd rather just pay the whole year right up front. And
Right.
do you offer a way to do yearly payment?
No, right now it's just monthly. We don't have any yearly payment options.
Okay. LinkedIn does a really good job with it. It's kind of evil the way they do it, but it is really awesome, and I think it works really well. If you go to LinkedIn, and I'll pull up their thing.
Sure. I do. LinkedIn's a bit of a love-hate relationship.
It is. It is. They do a very good job. I'm not going to pull it up now. They do a very good job of the yearly billing. So they show you all the prices, and then it's they show you per month price, but they have the total is this, and it's like a little checkbox that says yearly or monthly. Show me yearly or monthly billing,
Oh,
and they
okay.
show
But they
yearly
kick you
by
into the
default.
yearly by default.
Right, and then it's like, okay, well, you want to pay $15 a month. That's going to be, whatever 15. I should be able to do this in my head. It's $180 a year. But if you want to do monthly payment, then it's $22 a month or something like that. And it can show
Oh,
the
okay.
default. There's lots of little tweaks you can do like that because
Yeah.
getting the revenue to you as soon as possible makes the business able to survive and thrive and grow. And you've got to do all sorts of little hacks like that just so that you can kind of be scrappy and small and make the thing build, even though it might be yeah, you're showing yearly prices by default. Well, yeah, it's helpful for everyone.
Right. No, I like that idea. I know I have seen that on a few other sites too, where they show you like the yearly one
Hmm.
divided up by 12. So it's a bit of it's a marketing mechanism or whatever, but
Yeah,
it's definitely a useful one. So
yeah. So my initial impression is it's pretty complicated. I wish I could use it. Do you have an account that like a demo account that we could log into? Cool. I hope the ideas and stuff are helpful so far. I'm just
oh,
trying to give
yeah.
really good ones
I mean, I
feedback.
really like the idea of trying to speed up the process as quickly as possible when you first come in. That's something that I had never I hadn't thought of before. So that's definitely. I mean, I had thought of it, but not to the point of actually getting the user up and running as quick as
Yeah.
possible too. So
Yeah, and
um,
I actually question whether there's any value in having a free trial at all, because once you can show that it's valuable, I'd almost want to sign up then and not delay it
right.
at all. So this is D Grigg Local. This is a demo site that you have set up, and
Yeah.
this is what the site looks like. It looks like your personal site.
Yes.
Nice looking site.
Thanks.
All right, so then to the page proofer, we go back to pageproofer.com, and I've logged in, and if I hit this, oh, that's kind of neat. So
Yeah, so it's like a Kanban sort of board, kind of showing you, different tasks that have been put into the system through PageProofer.
Okay. So on the left here, this is stuff that looks like to do, and then I can just drag these together.
Yep.
Oh, that's really intuitive. I like that. And then when it's done, I can just drag it over here and it's finished. Cool. Is there anything that happens when I move between the three columns?
Yeah, so there's some notifications that will go through the system. So if you're the person who created the note, or if you've been assigned the note, you'll get an email just saying, the status has been changed on it.
Okay.
Or if it gets closed, and then just like a little visual indicator on the site too, to show you what the kind of status of the note is. This is really just a way to give people a dashboard to make it really simple to see all of the notes in a single place. So instead of on the website seeing it on a page-by-page basis, here you can go in and you can see all the notes in one central location.
So what happens when I click on one of these notes?
So here you can see all the details of the note. So
Okay.
there's not much on this one. You can add comments. So if you know that you're going to fix the site, or if you know you're going to do something with it, you can leave a little comment there. The other thing you can do with these two is you can switch the status or the priority or who it's assigned to. The browser info link is the thing that's really useful if it's more of a bug issue.
Oh, nice.
When we capture the note, we also capture a bunch of information around the browser, screen size, the selector. So where that comes in handy is that if you're trying to fix a bug and they're saying, this isn't showing up or it's broken, I don't know which browser I'm in, or I don't know which version I'm in,
Right.
which is often the case with clients.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more guesswork. Now you can go and look, and we've got all that information right there. You can see,
Cool.
maybe the screen was at a, really small size and it needed to be a little bigger or something. So you've got a better feel for what was happening on the user system when they saw something.
Okay, cool. Let us take a look then, and just go through one quick. Can you show me how do I then create this on?
Sure.
Do I click on
the site?
this?
Yeah. If you click there, that'll just pop you out to the website.
Nice. All right, and
So
then go ahead.
So the first thing you see is in the bottom right, you see the little PageProofer icon and a little indicator there telling that there's 5 notes on the page.
Okay, so when I click that, and then it goes to this overlay, it looks a little darker, and I'll see like number 4. Okay, cool. So this is then just a note with it looks like just demo content in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if I want to add a note, that I hit the add button, and that goes just on general for the page.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways that you can add a note. If you click the plus,
Okay.
that just adds a page note which is not tied to any specific element. Actually, it was probably a bad example to come into this page just because there were already some notes there. When you
Okay.
come to a page the first time with no notes on it, you get a little kind of message on the screen saying double click anywhere on the screen to leave a new note. So
Okay.
Can
you change the cursor to like a crosshair icon or something?
we don't right now, but it's definitely a good idea.
Just because that makes it clear that there's some kind of action attached to the cursor click. So if I
Right.
click on it once, nothing happens. Can I click links now?
No, because you've actually got like an overlay sitting over top of the site.
Okay. So I have to double click. Why a double click rather than a single click?
It was more just something that when we were doing the single clicks and talking to users, it was a little too tricky for them because you were sometimes clicking into page just to move things around, and the double click was a little more intuitive.
Okay.
The double tap actually, it also works nicer on mobile devices too, so it's the same experience
Right.
if you're on a desktop or if you're on a tablet or a phone.
Okay. Cool. Oh, this is very cool. So I like that you've got a nice count of all the different notes here. This looks really nice. And then I don't think we have a whole lot of time. I don't know if we'd be able to keep people interested to go through a whole teardown of end to end on the site.
Right.
But I did want to get a sense of what it looks like and how it works. So
Oh, okay.
I'm glad that we were able to get in and take a look at this. It's really neat how it pops up. If I click on this icon again, does it toggle back down?
No, you've got the options over the X, so that just minimizes the toolbar. So if you need to do something up in the top of the screen, you can get the toolbar out of the way.
Okay. And then
And
the
then
X makes
the
it
X
go
just
back
yeah.
down. Okay.
When you actually first sign up, we send a couple tips around too. So it's also key activated. So like typing P, so PP will open the overlay, or it will close it again too off the keyboard.
Okay. I'm interested. Do you have any usage statistics around the keyboard support?
Yeah, we don't get as many people using the keyboard. We do send out the tip, and I think it's just something that's not overly obvious to people. So it's there. Some
Right.
users do use it, but most people just prefer to use mouse or touch.
I would just drop the keyboard support. Then you don't have to write code for it. You don't have to maintain it. Just drop it. Make it simpler.
Just take it out.
Yeah. Make this icon so when you click it, it goes up, and when you click it again, it goes back down. So then
Yeah,
you
I
click
never
on the
thought of that.
icon.
To click on the close. We don't even track an event off that one, which would be useful.
Yeah.
So do you gravitate more to the yearly pricing or monthly pricing?
I gravitate more towards the yearly pricing. There's one number that dictates nearly all of the decisions that I make in the business, and that's the payroll costs. Everything else is secondary. And a $15 a month charge, I don't even think about. For me, $15 a month is okay, yeah, I can spend $15 a month like 10 or 20 times, and it makes materially no difference to me.
Right.
Because the payroll costs are far, far, far in excess of that. So if it helps my team at all, or it helps my clients to produce a better experience that makes me more competitive, then I don't even think about it. Now, there is one small provision because I operate in the state of Pennsylvania. The state of Pennsylvania charges use tax on all software as a service products. And that means that now this $15 a month costs me not only $15 a month, which I don't really care about, but also 6% in use tax that I need to track and pay to the state on on a scheduled basis. And that
Do
is a
you
pain in my
pay
butt.
that as the vendor or as the user?
I pay that as the user because that's just the way that this state has it. I don't know how the other states are set up. I actually went through an audit earlier this year and I learned this and I was very surprised that I've got all these things I need to track. So now your $15 a month costs me in bookkeeper fees as well because I can either track that myself, add it to my long list of things I need to do, or I can have the bookkeeper take care of it and have that be one of the things that she's concerned with.
Interesting.
So yeah, the government is involved in decreasing your conversion rates and there's nothing you can do about it.
So they're not pro small business, is what you're saying?
No, it doesn't seem that way. They're pro state, so it is. I mean, it is what it is, and I think we're going to see more and more of that. It's just one small thing to think about that it impacts your conversion rates, even though you have and you have no control over it. So that's something that's in my head that I think about, but you would never pick up on that. You'd never see that.
Oh, okay. And so does the yearly plan help you at all versus monthly when having to do all that extra paperwork then? Or?
The extra paperwork isn't really, that doesn't really matter too much. I like the yearly plans because if I'm shopping for a tool like this, then I know, okay, then I just buy this and it's set for the year and I don't have to worry about it again.
Oh, okay.
As a business owner, I find that the fewer times you have to reach out and touch your customer, the fewer times they have a chance to say no to you.
Right.
So if you can decrease that, give them a one-time yearly fee, and don't be scared of charging them, $180, $200, whatever.
Over a year it's not
Yeah.
significant, like you said.
That doesn't matter. For me, it's acquiring another tool that the team can use, and then my costs are incurred in training the team, training clients, and making sure that this is something that I can use and is going to stick around. A low price actually works against you because it makes me think, well, this isn't actually going to survive, so why would I sign up? So a higher priced tool, even if it provides functionally the same thing, makes me think, okay, this business is going to be around. He's going to continue to invest in it. It's going to get better over time. Versus a race to the bottom with free trials and things like that is like, I don't know if it's going to be here in 6 months. I don't want to sign up and think that it's gone or that Derrick isn't actually working on it and it's not making any changes.
Oh, okay.
So
well, that's good.
The support is actually more important.
Right, and that's the one thing that we've really tried to focus on, even on the plans that aren't necessarily making us much money, is doing the outstanding support because there are a couple other alternatives out there. So we've really bent over backwards to try and give customers the best support possible, and we've gotten some really good feedback. I think a couple of the testimonials actually speak to that a little bit, but that was one of the key differentiators for us was how do we make it not just a great service, but also a great experience for people. So when they're dealing with us, we actually pick up the phone and call them. It's not just kind of
That's great.
texts or things back and forth. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, if there was one thing that I would say would make it even more key is that instant rush to get people to that wow, this is cool feeling right away, be it
right.
through a bookmarklet or something like that. Even if the bookmarklet only targets Chrome, just to say try this now is okay. Then I'll sign up because that gets me really close to the wallet strings. And when I'm looking at your site, I'm already thinking about buying it.
Okay. No, I love that idea. That's awesome. Actually, I have one more question for you on the yearly pricing. It's
Yeah,
more just a personal thing.
sure.
Um, I signed up for one service a while ago, a pretty popular service. I won't say who,
Okay.
but they had yearly pricing, which was fine. I was fine with the price. They never sent me a reminder though before they renewed for the next year. Not even a little, we're going to charge you again in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And then I got this bill, and I had completely forgotten about the fact that this thing was coming up. And it wasn't that it was a huge amount of money, but
Yeah.
I was a little off-put by the fact that, hey, I just had this huge charge, or not a huge charge, but I had this decent charge put on my credit card and didn't even realize that it was coming up. Is it better to at least send that reminder out a little before that, hey, this charge is going to happen, or you just kind of continue flying under the radar and hope that you
No,
don't?
it's always better to send that you're about to be charged email
Yeah,
because you want customers that want to be your customers. You don't want anyone who's just being their part of the product but isn't actually helping to make it better.
right. Yeah, they're just kind of floating along.
Yeah, I mean that's great and it's good for the revenue for the business, but I'm of the opinion that the only people I want using my products are the ones that actually want to be using it because it just makes for a better world that way.
Right. No, that's great.
So yeah, for sure. And there are products out there that have charged me. I'll give you an example, and I'll use the company name Slack, the chat company.
Yeah.
I've signed up with yearly billing for them, and that was a little funny because I ended up with a bill for like $500 or $600 from them in 1 month, and it was surprising. I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot. What was that about? And going back over the records, I realized that I'd signed up for the yearly billing, and they automatically bill me or credit, or I don't think they ever credit, but they automatically bill me when I add new users to the plan, and they bill me
Oh,
on a
so it's
per year basis. So for me, it was kind of a surprise to pay this $500 bill to a chat company in 1 month. But then looking back at it, it was like, oh, okay, that's what happened. It makes sense. I understand.
yeah. It's just you're not thinking about it making sense right when you first see that bill, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bill that I'm going to go back and fight or anything. I understand what it's for, and once I know what it's for, then I can move forward. I can say, okay, that makes sense.
All right.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for the teardown of pageproofer.com. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Derek? Anything you'd like to say to the viewers?
No, I just, I'd love for people to come and check out the service. You give it a shot, and if you do have any feedback for us on how we can make it a better service for designers or developers, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, and what's the best way to get in touch with you then?
You can get in touch with us through the website or on Twitter.
Okay, and
PageProofer.
great. Okay.
Well, thanks, Nick.
All right, that was the startup teardown of pageproofer.com. Thank you very much and have a awesome day. Keep being awesome because I think you're cool.